Today was the first match of Movistar Core at MSI 2025, and I'm in the presence of team captain and jungler Elyoya today, and I know it's tragic, especially an ending like this. I can't even begin to imagine what you must be feeling right now. This is like a game, especially that was in your hands, and it must be frustrating. Like you must be replaying.
Oh shit, I was muted. What the
Imagine, can you tell?
Wait, why was my stream muted? But yeah, double downfall is what we're looking for today. That's pretty much all I said.
Honestly scared playing. I would say I have too much, not too much. But,
fix my dual
in a way,
XLR
I
because this shit just
them,
randomly
and
mutes.
I think they are gonna do everything perfect, which makes me play way worse, which I think is what happened for the first. I would say maybe the first and the third game.
Off.
I was too scared to play my own way, so these are my biggest regrets coming into the series, because I don't think I could at least learn playing my style, because again I was just scared.
Yeah.
I was overthinking. I wasn't really playing how I know or how I want to play. So this is my biggest takeaway. So yeah.
And I can imagine for you, especially for a player of your caliber as well with your career, you've been one of the best junglers in Europe for a long time now. But I know your last best result internationally was MSI 2021, right? When you first entered into the league, it was your very first split. You got semi-finals back then as well.
Yeah.
So I can imagine.
Yeah, it was semi-finals, but that used to be only one Korean team and only one Chinese team. So it's like, it's really hard to compare MSI 2021, 2022 to MSI nowadays, because making a semi-finals means you're a top 3 team in the world. It means you're probably beating you're probably beating one Korean and Chinese team. You're at least outplacing definitively one Korean and one Chinese team to get to third place. So I don't think it's fair to say, oh, this was your best performance or this was your best finish, because it's just not the same tournament. You know, anyone should have, the expectation should have been that you make every single semifinal in 2015 until 2022. Some teams didn't, like 2021 C9 didn't. That's a horrible stain on your legacy, but it's not. It's just a different tournament. You can't consider that they are similar at all. It's also kind of like making out of groups nowadays in Worlds. It used to be that one team should get out of groups from each region, even though NA failed to do it a bunch. It should have been that one team from NA and EU would generally get out of groups, because there would only be 3 Korean teams and 3 Chinese teams. So the expectation would be that one would get out. But then after 2020, they started bringing 4 seeds. And after they started bringing 4 seeds, everything changes, right?
So many years going internationally and having to fail and get back up every time as well, it gets heavy as well, right? It changes the way you play a bit. Do you think that this is one of the things that influences, for example, the fact that maybe you are too respectful in games like this?
For sure. Again, I've been losing to them for a long time, so it's not easy to take away the respect or the fear you have for them, because in the past, every time I would face them, I would really stand really few chances. I think right now that has changed, and my mentality still has to change. I think I'm going in the right way, and I think this series I've realized of it, so I'm way more confident coming into my next series. Yeah.
Do you believe in this glass ceiling that a lot of people have been talking about? Because so far, at MSI, every Western team have lost and went to the lower bracket. Still, every one of them got one game at least, which is better than nothing, but it's definitely not what we want. And we saw Inspired yesterday talk to us, and he was talking about how in North America he felt like it was really hard to improve, but it was the same kind of in Europe as well, because you don't get to play against these players all years, right? You don't get the same level of practice that they do. You're stuck in Europe or America, and you play against, the players that are here. Do you believe that there is a glass ceiling that is preventing teams from Europe and NA to step up to the level because they don't get to have the same level of practice every year?
I don't think so. I think, what he said is true. I think they get better practice, and that's just a reality, because basically there is more player base in the Asian servers. Also, they play with fewer ping, they have better teams to play, they can play LPL or LCK teams, which is a reality, and that's an advantage for them. But still, I don't believe in this ceiling. I think they don't take care of many things that we do. I think we have many things going for us too, and I think it's a pity, the fact that we couldn't show how, at least that Western teams can beat Asians. I think it's a big pity because I know that we were really capable of doing it, and it really hurts me. But I believe it, and I know it's just a matter of time that we end up beating one. I think this tournament we're going to beat one of them at the very minimum. So yeah, I'm really confident.
MSI 22.
Well, he's got to go through Flying Oyster first. So he has got to go through Flying Oyster first. And Flying Oyster is considered pretty big favorites, surprisingly. I don't actually think the Flying Oyster is as good as people think. I attribute it more to T1 playing pretty poorly into Flying Oyster than Flying Oyster being significantly better than Koi, because the like odds indicate that Flying Oyster should like stomp Koi. Like it's similar to what the odds are generally when, for example, Casey plays Vitality or some shit in the LEC. Like that's similar to what we're getting here. So I don't know. I'm pretty surprised that Flying Oyster is considered this big of a favorite.
25 and the previous editions as well. It's a format that is very, very cutthroat. Obviously, it's only a bracket, right? You don't have like a group stage like before or something. So if you lose, you do have a second chance, but then there's nothing more, right? Like you have to win everything, and it's only best of fives and everything. Do you feel like having had this one first match, at least, even if it's a loss, it will be beneficial for the form of Movistar Koi going further in the tournament? Because it feels like you guys looked like one of the best Western teams so far in terms of how you played. Do you still see some progression in terms of how you've evolved both in the LEC and internationally since 2023 even?
I see many progresses. Like, the way that we are playing, I think we can compete into Asian teams, which I don't think it was a thing back then. We could take a game or two, but I don't think we could compete. Right now, I really believe we can. So, yeah, I think...
it looks the same way, right? It looks like the Western teams could take a game or two, but honestly, I think that the series that they played versus Damwon in his first international, that was the one where Beryl was completely running it. I thought that was the closest it ever looked to an Elyoya team beating a Eastern team.
I really believe in us.
Yeah. I mean, Supa was telling us how, because obviously, there was some debate about the best Western team and everything, and Supa was like, dude, I don't want to talk about being the best Western team. I want to talk about being the best team in the world. I want to be like the team that wins MSI. Do you believe?
Yeah, then you got to start beating some of these Asian teams. Like, I don't know. It's like, I know it sounds really good. It's like a really good quote, and it's like a good mentality to have or whatever. When you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be the best team in Europe. I'm trying to be the best team in the world. Or I'm not trying to be the best AD carry in Europe. I'm trying to be the best AD carry in the world. Like, that's a really good quote where it makes it sound like, oh man, this guy is like, he's got his sights aimed high. He's dedicated to the craft, like all this stuff. It sounds good, but realistically, if you are in a situation where you're consistently losing to Asian teams, they're not going to compare you to the top Asian teams. Like, BLG is supposed to be one of the worst Asian teams in this tournament. Most people, like even odds makers, have BLG as like as the worst Asian team in this tournament, and you're the one seed from Europe and you lost to them. So yeah, you're gonna have to just deal with the conversations that happen. Like, obviously everyone is trying to win the tournament. I don't think there's anyone here. I don't think if you ask FlyQuest players, it's like, yeah, to be honest, like, we don't really want to win the tournament. We just are here to just not look terrible. Like, mainly I just want to look good individually as a player, so I get some like hype and like interaction on Twitter. And winning the tournament is not something that I really want, or I'm like striving for it. I don't think that that's what the response would be. So I just feel like these are just empty words, and you should just like be like, do you think you're a better team than FlyQuest? Like, let's see what happens. Also, I saw Jojo respond. He said if they beat CFO, then they get to play FlyQuest. I think he just doesn't know how the bracket works, because that's not how it works. The way the bracket works is that whoever wins this series gets to play against AL. MKOI versus CFO, the winner plays AL, and then the loser of T1 and BLG plays FlyQuest. And then we see from there who moves on.
I believe this team to be the one that's going to be able to do it like this roster in the future, even if it takes like 6 months that it takes to Worlds, or it takes even to next year or something. Yeah. Is it going to be the roster?
Even right now, I think we have the capabilities to win the MSI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And bouncing off that as well, like in general, do you think that no matter what,
like, I don't mind Elyoya saying it like that. To add more context, it was in the context of somebody asking Masu, do you guys think you're the best Western team? And he's like, yeah, I think we're the best Western team. And then they asked Supa, they're like, Masu thinks that FlyQuest is the best Western team. Do you think you're the best Western team? And he's like, best Western team. Like, I'm trying to win the tournament. He's trying to like ego him in a way. I just thought that was it's just a response that people love, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like, you got to actually win these games, and then we'll start taking those types of comments serious.
And at MSI right now, it's going to be beneficial to you guys later on in the year as well, and like even at Worlds and everything, like you guys are going to be just on another step and another level, and finally, I guess, take Europe back to further than the Swiss stage, right?
Yeah. I mean, I cannot really tell that. I think we will see with time. Obviously, this is a really great experience, and if well used, this is going to be super a big advantage for us coming into the next LEC. Yeah. But I think this only time will tell. We don't know how we will react to whatever happens. I'm really positive about it. I think it's gonna make us grow, and we're gonna come back much stronger coming into summer and into Worlds, because we already have this first international stage. So yeah, I think it's a really positive experience.
It's a bit of a tough question.
Yeah, it's definitely a positive experience. I like Elyoya's answer, because a lot of times people ask questions, or like the community will have expectations that it's like you'll just consistently progress, and that, you know, the game is just the same all the time, and once you hit a certain level, like you just have that level, and then you are going to then, you know, be able to hit an even higher level in the future. Like, the progression is just linear upwards. I've said this for years. I don't know why, after so many years of watching competitive esports, we still have this mentality that every team has linear upwards progression, where we see multiple times, like KC was the best team in Europe in winter. They didn't even qualify top 2 for this tournament. I feel like at some point we have to actually just understand that it's a competition. Forms are variable, as well as the game changes a lot. The game is going to be a completely different one in summer. They're going to do the same thing that they did with Spirit Blossom, probably to a bigger degree. Like, Spirit Blossom changes were significant in a way because they removed things like Voracious Otacon, but they actually kept a lot of things that I thought they weren't going to keep. I thought the whole idea was the feats of warfare and stuff was Noxian themed, and that was going to be something that was only going to be in the Noxus part. And then in Spirit Blossom, maybe it was going to be more like scaling elements, because it's a, you know, less aggressive map, and there would be things that might play towards more like experience or gold generation, that type of thing. In summer, we'll have to see if they actually change the game in a way that's significant. Maybe Otacon does something completely different. Maybe they completely rework the way Feats of Strength works. Maybe they do something different with like Drakes. Like, you never know what's actually going to happen in the game, and when things happen to the game, it will affect different teams differently. Obviously, MKOI is a team that plays a pretty solid, like, aggressive style of league. When they get control of a game, they're pretty good at like progressing the game. They don't have amazing late game, but let's say the game becomes more scaling oriented, the meta changes, champions get nerfed, and you're able to only play tank junglers. Then I feel like KC gets a lot of value, because they want to play major. They're really good at controlling space, controlling zones, entrances, Drake fights. That's what they're really good at. And if they're able to play a lot of like Maokai, Ivern, Sejuani, Amumu, like whatever the like tank junglers end up being in the mix, or maybe they're just more farming junglers that don't have to interact as much, then MKOI might be worse than KC. So it's so hard to predict what's going to happen, because it's League of Legends
as well. But have you had ever...
They didn't change anything at Humanoid. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that they changed is that Humanoid lost his job. That's the only thing that was changed with Spirit Blossom season.
Have you ever had any moments in your career where you like reflected on those past international tournaments that didn't go your way, and thought inside your mind that like you had to like make it work now, because one day maybe you won't get the chance again to go back internationally? Like, every tournament that you go to, it could be the last one day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a current thought even right now. Like, you never know when it's gonna be your last international. Like, again, I think you need to be grateful for everything you are given. Like, right now, I will never know. I won't know right now if this is my last international. I really hope it's not, and I don't think it will be. But I need to enjoy it as if it was my last, because I don't know when I'll be back on the international stage. I know if I keep working and I keep doing things well, I'll be back. But yeah, again,
you fuck with Zabutine? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Zabutine. There's some shit that he says that I just like can't comprehend. Like, for example, I think he did an episode of Hot Take Point Made like a month ago, and he said that the top 4 seeds in Europe are all stronger than the best 2 seeds in NA. So somebody had the take that the way that show works is like people have a take that's supposed to be a hot take, and then they debate it. Hire's take was that FlyQuest and C9 are better than the best European teams, and his take was that actually the 4 best European teams, including like Fnatic, who I just think Fnatic is dog shit, right? So it's like Fnatic, G2, Koi, and KC are all better than C9 and FlyQuest. And like, I just can't with that take. Like when I hear that shit, I'm like, I don't even know what the basis for that take is. I don't even know like how to come to that conclusion. No, it wasn't. See, that wasn't the hot take. The hot take was that the two NA teams are better than the EU teams. That was his like rational take to it. The rational counter to the hot take was that actually C9 and FlyQuest are worse than all 4 European teams, which I don't know. I mean, FlyQuest 3-0, G2, I would say pretty easy. I don't even think FlyQuest had great drafts yesterday, or they played at their max level at all yesterday, and it felt like they beat G2. I feel like FlyQuest is just on a different level than G2. I feel like FlyQuest, when I watch them play against G2, I think that they would win. If they played 10 games, I think they would probably win 8 of them.
All right, a bit of a more light-hearted question as well. You've been in Canada for a few weeks now, right? You've arrived first in Toronto, then to Vancouver as well. How has it been for you as well, just being here in the country, being abroad as well? And have you had any good experiences as well that like you're gonna be looking for back to fondly, I guess, in the future as well, like some stuff that happened that you found fun and everything?
I mean, I didn't really get to see that much Vancouver yet, but I think Toronto was really nice. I mean, we really enjoyed it together with Jojo Pion. I think he brought us to a Korean barbecue. And
oh, nice.
And yes, sorry.
Koi, KC stomped G2 like FlyQuest in the finals. I mean, KC lost to Koi twice. G2 beat Fnatic, and then G2 beat Koi the first time they played against each other. I feel like we're at this weird situation where G2 beat Koi and then lost to Koi, and then people make it seem like G2 is somehow like not good at all. Like I saw this take on Reddit that Fnatic is actually better than G2. It's like the cope is just hitting dangerous levels. If you want to see where that is, yeah, it's in the global power rankings Reddit thread. You can check the comments there and see like what the average opinion is. It's like G2 looked terrible at this international, and now people are saying Fnatic and KC are definitely better than them.
Really an enjoyable experience. So far I'm really liking the country, and I'm really grateful for everyone that we've met so far. So yeah, I'm quite happy with Canada.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Last question. Just going back to the next match, CFO T1, right?
Yeah.
I think most people expect CFO to drop down to play against you. Any thoughts ahead of that matchup? Do you think it's pretty much like a matchup that like you should win 100%?
Well, we should for sure win. I still think that they have their own like. We gotta give them the respect. Like I think Junji is a really strong jungler and will be really fun facing him. I think I will have a really good chance there to prove myself. So I'm really happy and positive coming into this match.
Anything to say to the Coisitos before we finish?
I'm sorry for the lost opportunity that we had. We are gonna come back stronger. We're gonna play better, and this is not gonna be the common thing. Again, like we're gonna come back a much stronger team, and we are gonna make you proud, MSI. So sorry for the performance, and thank you for the support.
Well, Elyoya, on behalf of the entire community, I thank you as well for your time. Thank you as well for today. Even if it didn't go your way, we saw some great stuff, and I wish you only the best in the rest of the brackets. I know that you guys are going to be able to pick it up, and yeah.